By the way, I read Yuri too. I did this like several years ago.
The OG.
Okay, like
I'm just the up and comer, the prodigy.
Jess is doing it now, but like
OG.
I read a lot of Yuri.
OG prodigy. OG genius.
This one also
hipster.
No.
It girl.
I don't even know what we're doing anymore. I did run out, and so I do need to start reading it. The problem is that I've actually been reading like books. Okay, so like I have 3 different LGBTQ novels in this room alone right now that I'm trying to read that I've checked out from the library. Nerd, okay? Also nerd, just saying. And so Jess, of course, I've got these books and I'm trying to read them and read them before my checkouts run out on them, because otherwise the library will mark them as lost, and that's bad because they won't let me check out electronic materials, which is how I get my comics. But so I'm trying to read these novels, and Jess is like, hey, here's this comic. So now I'm trying to read both.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find time for both.
Zena's leaving out a chunk. So I love my partner.
What am I?
But anytime there's a chance they could be left out of a thing, it becomes a discussion. And so like the thing is that like, so like I was like, I want to do Yuri reviews, and I was really excited for just doing Yuri reviews. And Zena was like, but I want to participate. And I was like, okay, read Pulse. And this was a week and a half ago. And they're like, I got to read my books. And they're like,
I know, but I have deadlines on the books.
You have deadlines on the Yuri segment I wanted to do tonight.
Well, we feel like shit tonight. So I mean, what if this is us just sitting here ranting? So if you wanted like some kind of organized content like usual, it's not happening.
Yeah, tonight is not organized. Tonight is going to be...
I feel like utter
Pulse
shit.
Changed my life, man. Astra, God, I love you. Thoughts on Mage and Demon Queen? Perfectly dumb and wonderful.
Oh no, I love that. I love Mage and Demon Queen.
They are disaster lesbians of the highest order.
Let me get my books out. We're doing this.
Let's see, what do we got? What is not going to get me demonetized? This is from a, I believe this is either Chinese or Korean. I can't remember which. But this is from one called, Why Is My Food So Cute? And it's basically about a werewolf girl who wakes up a vampire and accidentally activates the curse that says that you will basically be my food source for the next year, and then your memory will, go away after that. Well, they end up getting together and start becoming a relationship and start trying to figure out how to break this curse. And they're really adorable. There's a whole bunch of other twists and turns, but let me be really clear. It's very sapphic, very fun. I love it. 10 out of 10. I think it's just really cute. And the vampires and all the other creatures, they have a ton of different things. There's like a naga. It's a naga or I think it's because there's other vampires. There's a werewolf. There's a weird, there's like a cat. There's like a, what is it? Nine tails. There's a weird fox spirit. Whole bunch of other stuff. Really good stuff.
All right. So I also adore Strawberry Panic, by the way. So the school I would go to if I was in Strawberry Panic is, what's it? Is it Speaka? It's the one with all the clubs. It's the one with 500,000 clubs. That one. I would be in that school. Just saying.
This one is from My Demon Secretary. My Demon Secretary is about a woman who is trying to save her brother, who has gone through every possible surgery he can to survive leukemia, and a demon shows up and makes her a deal. And the demon is awesome. It's a really cool love story. It's not particularly dark, and their relationship is really hot. It is not particularly not safe for work. It's sapphic as shit. Good read. I have not read Strawberry Panic yet. I will have to read it, but I don't know. There's something about OG stuff that I go, the art's really bad. Like the old, like
Camphor was weird. I don't think there was enough out when I was watching it, but I feel no need to return to it because it's really not. It's in that awful, like, not really a Yuri, but they call it a Yuri, okay? Like, it's just a thing. Like, I mean, again, maybe stuff came out. I don't know. I got bored with it. Do you want to hear my book list?
Go ahead. I can shut.
All right. So my book list at the moment includes Tess of the Road by Rachel Hartman. I've got that one on audiobook. That's why I'm reading the title off my phone. That one's kind of on hold though, because again, I got the audio file, so that's the thing. So books I have here. I've got Sovereign, Nemesis Book 2. It is about a trans girl superhero. She inherits the superhero powers and basically transitions and transforms into said superhero, and also like full everything into a girl. Like bam. As she inherits that, and all that happens is she inherits the superpowers. All right. So she's now like the world's best superhero. And it's great. That was the first book. By the way, I didn't spoil anything. All that happens like the first like 3 pages, okay? So I finally got the second book. Really, really excited for this. That was a fantastic read. And they totally ended with like cute girls. She's got a friend. They were getting to know each other. Yeah, no, they're not. They're
gal pals.
They're not gal pals. Come on now. Come on. Their relationship was progressing, okay? And so we get to see more of it in this one, I am sure. No doubt. I'm very excited because they were super cute and holding hands at the end and just snuggling and like chilling out, and it's good.
They were roommates.
They were not roommates. They were falling in love. Stop it. All right. So Ellie on the server actually recommended a few books to me because she had also heard about some LGBTQ books. So this is Felix Ever After. Trans boy. Pretty good. I'm about halfway through so far. I don't know how I feel about it yet. But it's pretty good. I'm mostly skimming it. It's definitely a young adult read. But it's good. It's good so far. And then what else do I got here? I've got Both Can Be True. This one I have not started yet. The back reads, life's edges aren't so defined. Really, nothing about how it feels alive is strictly a one or the other game. Happy or sad, scared or mad, hopeful or despairing, introvert or extrovert, boy or girl, kid or teenager. There's a little of each one in its opposite, and that's what makes life so complex and interesting. More painful, yeah, but also richer, more real. And I think it's about 2 kids that are kind of doing stuff with gender identity, and are kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum. So yeah, and this is a fiction one too. Also young adult. But yeah.
Can I show them some more, Yuri?
I believe I finished off my books. Does anyone have any questions about my books before we go on?
Dead Collections by Isaac Fellman, which has a trans man lead. Cool.
Which one is best? I don't know yet because I've only started one of those books so far. I have not read the other 2 yet. I do know that Dreadnought, the first book in this series, is a definite recommend. I definitely recommend this, and that's by April Daniels. So the first book is Dreadnought. All
right, so I have some more recommendations. Hopefully LiQWYD can make this into a fucking clip. Random gay stuff. God, LiQWYD's gonna have to watch the whole stream for once. So the next one I'm gonna talk about is one that both me and Astra have fallen in love with. I can't show you all the pictures that I have because I don't want to be demonetized.
Wait, which one?
This is from Bad Thinking Diary, which is about a girl who essentially discovers her friend has had a crush on her for a long time, has been having sexy dreams about her, and they get together around chapter 7. I'm telling you this if you want to skip ahead. Goddamn. So this is from Bad Thinking Diary. This is the art is gorgeous. I love it. It's so good. It's so spicy. Have you ever wanted to see someone expertly topped? This is what this is. And here's another part that shouldn't get us demonetized. Super fucking good. I love Bad Thinking Diary. It's super good. We're up to chapter 8 right now. Any triggers for that? No. No. One of the guys is kind of weird, but not a big deal. Again, I'm not going to do trigger warnings for stuff. You guys can go into this stuff and figure it out.
Honestly, all this stuff has tags and anyways, and you can always look it up. You kind of got to know your triggers on this stuff, I think.
Yeah, I'm never a good person to do trigger warnings because the problem being is I don't get triggered by a lot.
Well, again, with like therapist.
You guys don't understand the amount of stuff that I hear on a day-to-day basis. Like my job is hearing about horror.
Yeah, like Jess's job is trigger warning.
I work with people who are LGBT, trauma, borderline. So like, again, like I'll read something and it'll be absolutely deplorable things happen. I'll be like, that's the thing that happened. The most I do is I get depressed, and usually that's when things go sad, or they do the stupid like sad ending where the lesbians can't be together because of stupid reason they made up.
Whenever I see you like depressed or sad about a story, though, it's never 99% of the time. It's never because of like something that would be a content warning topic in the story. It's just, God, why did they write it poorly? That's usually what's happening.
No, yeah, it is. Well, outro. It is the sad ending of like, well, we've had this couple get together and it's really sweet. Now we're going to come up with reasons why they can't actually be together. Any hot takes on Korosami? I hate Legend of Korra, and I think it's a bad show.
Also, to Hollow, I'm glad you resonate with the gender stuff. Give the book a try. Let us know if you end up reading it. I am always happy when people read books that I'm reading, because I rarely have people to talk about books with. So
I can show this pic. I am going to do a review on this one because Zena literally stood over my shoulder. And
I was just, Jess was telling me, like, giving me a summary of every chapter.
Trigger warnings for violence, serial killing, definitely assault of every type.
If you can think of it, it's in this series. Yeah, this is not for the faint of heart.
We're going to briefly talk about a wonderful series that I, for some reason, could not put down called Mercilago, and this is not a good representation of this picture, of this thing. So I am starting with this picture because I need you to go into this with this understanding. This story is about a person named, I believe it's Kuriko, and Kuriko is a serial killer who has killed upwards of 700, and I believe it's 12 or 15 people. I'm going to find a cute picture of her because she's wonderful. Here is Kuriko. There we go. So she is a person who is basically put before a young girl while in an electric chair, and the government literally says, "Will you kill this girl?" And she goes, "No." And they ask, "Well, why not?" "Because there's no merit in it." And they go, "Okay, then you have the ability to make you have the ability to reason." So what they do is they basically turn her into the city cleaner. She's there to handle problems. Think of her as essentially girl Alucard with a snake tongue that's about 3 feet long. Yes, she uses it in the exact ways you're thinking, to look both creepy and to pleasure many a girl because she's very obsessed with women. You don't see this picture and think, not a lesbian. Feel me? So, the reason why I come to this picture is because I'm going to do a brief spoiler with these characters. So if you don't want to hear about Mercilago spoilers, just mute me for like 5 minutes. There's a point in Mercilago where they are dealing with an issue with a serial killer known as, trigger warning for serial killing, body horror, and lots of other stuff. Just violence on a whole. But this is about a gentleman who I believe is known as the Skin Collector. And he is a serial killer who steals the faces off of his victims. Now, at one point, they realize in the story that the guy who has been the Skin Collector for the better part of this entire new run of serial killings isn't the one who was doing it. In fact, he has now groomed a protege. The protege is his young daughter, a small blonde girl, who looks like this when she's in her, let's call it murder mode. She basically carries with her a stuffed bunny. And when she goes into her murder mode, she wears that stuffed bunny. And underneath all of that bunny right there is a whole bunch of very long knives, including later in the series where she gets a pair of vibro knives, high frequency swords that can cut through, anything because they just force molecules apart. Old anime stuff if you ever watch Guyver. This young girl is now the protege for him and basically ends up killing a guy in a bathroom, taking his face, like you do. And what ends up happening is they stop her, and Kuriko decides, for many reasons, some of them creepy, that she's going to keep this girl. She's just going to adopt her, and part of her deal with the government is they're going to let her. she gets to ask for this because she's literally taking down, city-destroying monsters. So she adopts this girl and treats her very nice. Everyone loves her. She's wonderful. Despite Kuriko's genuine, weird, creepy behavior, she really doesn't seem to actually directly do certain actions. In fact, as the thing goes on, she actually sort of gets more tame, if there's a way to describe that. Her effect of slowly but surely gaining a very sapphic family causes her to be way less, I guess, horrible. But what's interesting is that, she'll still do incredibly horrific things. So the reason I bring this up is why I love this is, again, Kuriko is based and horrific. This is not always her normal gear. Sometimes she's wearing cute outfits. Sometimes she's got her tongue out like 3 feet. This is her in her I'm pretending to be an important person mode. So why am I bringing up this picture? So there's a part of the series where there is an underground terrorist organization that is trying to take out the city for various reasons that I will not spoil. And Kuriko and her gang go down there to try to stop them. And the person they run into is this black-haired woman who basically has the equivalent of web shooters that shoot out essentially diamond-covered monofilament wires that can cut through people, pillars, everything. And this girl gets defeated by that girl. That is Rinko-chan, the little girl, whoops her ass with vibroblades and cuts through her monofilament lines and defeats her. They end up arresting her, and she gets placed in Kuriko's care because that's what always happens. She just collects another girl. And what's fantastic about this, in my humble opinion, is that later they're all sitting around. Kuriko gets in this really great habit of and I might be saying her name, it might be Kuriko. I don't know. I don't care. I'm going to go with Kuriko. I don't care if I'm wrong. They're all sitting at the table, and it's really like a cute family moment. You find out that this black-haired lady lost her family. So basically, the little girl looks at her and says, hey, I just recently learned that, it's really important. Mommies and daddies are really important. And, just let you know that I care about you, or something to that effect. And basically the girl goes, you're a really good kid, picks her up and hugs her like this. And it's incredibly fucking cute. Now, the context of this is that one of these people is a terrorist who has monofilament lines on her wrists when she needs them that can cut through anything. And the other one is the protege of a serial killer that takes people's faces. And yet you get this wholesome scene. This is the reason why Mercilago makes me so fucking happy. Because it takes horror, but finds a way to sneak really cute, really meaningful moments into it that somehow work. No one in this world is a good person. Chat, I'm going to ask you a question. Can I give you one more spoiler? Can I give you one more spoiler because it's important for Rinko, the little girl? Yes? I don't mind. Cool, that counts as a yes. Sorry I went on this tangent, but I'm getting to say...
No. Once you finish up, I want to tell everyone about why I like tropes like that. Or just, yeah.
Seriously, Zena could not stop being over my shoulder.
Oh, yeah. No, this was good.
Okay, you guys got to see this. This is Rinko. This is my favorite character. She is Asagi Rinko. I used to go to Cthulhu Elementary. Why I love Rinko is that Rinko befriends a bunch of girls her own age at her elementary school, or middle school. I can't remember which. But essentially, she befriends a girl there, and they start getting really close, and they have a moment where, like little kids do, they almost, kiss. And then the girl's like, oh, I forgot I have something, and she runs, down the hallway in her house. And this girl's mentioned a couple times that her father's died. She just lives with her mom now. Do you remember earlier when I mentioned that Rinko killed a guy in the bathroom and took his face? So Rinko goes over to their house shrine, because, it's a Japanese house. They have Shinto shrines. Goes over to their house shrine and opens it and sees that the person in there that they're celebrating the life of who died is the guy that she killed in the bathroom. And she has a fucking panic attack and completely has to sort of come to terms with the fact that she did this, and also is completely just destroyed in her own head because she's kept these two parts of herself so separate. And it turns out that the person she really likes and cares for was hurt by her. And you're thinking, well, she's a serial killer. Of course, she's hurt people. But to have it so clearly thrown in her face is written so well. Her friend ends up getting kidnapped by a serial killer. There's a larger plot that seems to be creating monsters, and one of them seems to be this guy who lost his family and now kidnaps young girls to have them be his daughter temporarily until he eventually loses it. kills them and then has another one. What happens is there's a point where he takes this girl up to, I think it's one of the towers in Japan, I think in Tokyo Tower. And there is this amazing action scene where the team has to get their shit together and go save this girl. And the way it goes is the girl with the monofilament lines literally essentially web slings her butt up to almost the entire way of the tower. The girl, who is apparently some kind of bizarre experiment and has rocket skates, shoots her the rest of the way up. And she then, as her, not as her bunny serial killer persona, pulls out her 2 experimental vibroblades, cuts through 5 different panes of, bulletproof, impact-proof glass to come in there and whoop this dude's ass and literally cut him in half to save her friend. The story results in them meeting on top of their elementary school roof and her confessing that she almost confessing that she did this, them getting together, and this girl very clearly knowing what happened, and also knowing this girl saved her, and just kind of rolling with it.
It's super good because, like, they actually have to, like, explore how this dynamic works. It's not just hidden forever. No. The characters actually have to deal with this. Like, that actually happens. How many other stories do you get that in? You don't.
Yeah, it's so good. So you wanted to talk about these tropes. Go.
I don't know. One of the tropes that I really enjoy that is very difficult for series to do well is that mix of psychological horror with like a slice of life kind of thing, or like a wholesome, slice of life type deal. And so the only other series that I know that really does this super well is the one with all the R's. Really, really enjoy that. And they constantly are flipping back and forth. There's a nonlinear timeline, all of that. And so no, this is super one of those series that is always holding on to that tension of psychological horror, but like slice of life's wholesome. And it's really, really neat. So yeah, that's all. I just like that a lot.
Finding a balance of not only the slice of life thing, but I'll add in the idea.
But it's not just like particularly slice of life.
But also the found family trope. Like by the point of where I am at, which is into like the hundreds of chapters, there's a found family of like, let's see, former terrorist, former serial killer, weird experimental girl, the one with the pink hair who runs around it on ninja rocket skates, a girl who is inhabited by the ghost of her dead sister, who is a master samurai who has almost like thousands of years of training. And who else? Oh God. Oh, and the daughter of a Yakuza boss, who is the one dating Kuroko. And who Kuroko, up until basically where I am, was cheating on her often and then just kind of stopped. Like, this is what I mean. This show is dark. It is very dark. Or not show, excuse me. This manga is very dark. It is very, very, very dark. People explode. Things happen. There is direct things about assault. There's a bombing plot that I will be very clear of. Has trigger warnings for assault. I'm going to be very clear. Sexual assault happens. And again, I got to be clear. We're not watching good guys. We're watching protagonists.
Yep.
So we got to be really clear about these. These are not protagonists that you should be emulating. They are protagonists that are interesting because they bounce between these bizarre extremes of really good, meaningful engagement and horror. The scene I'm talking about in particular is basically the former victim of a assault at school is given the opportunity to get revenge, and that is all I will say about that plot. I have very mixed feelings about it. I think it was handled relatively well, but again, I have mixed feelings. Yeah, this is Kuroko, and this is her sidekick that's always driving for her. This is also the girl they threatened to let her kill, and she said would be no merit. In fact, one of the times she asked, goes, so why didn't you kill me? It's like, well, I can't kill pretty girls. I love pretty girls. And remember, you always save the best for last. So, yeah, Mercilago is really great with the caveat, the size of the Bahamas, that it has a lot of triggers, don't at me. When we go into full Yuri reviews, I'll have more to say about this, because I think the only way to actually review this is I'll probably have Zena have to read through it, and then we're probably going to have to do a review per arc. Because each arc is handled radically differently, and each one is handled with a whole bunch of different aspects.
Yeah.
So like, and they're all over the place. So there's no way to actually like fully make them make sense.
I don't even know if we're doing a review so much as like, here's all of our fun favorite things from this. So if you don't want spoilers, get on reading it.
If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, consider donating to us. You can support us on our website, transgirltherapist.org. You can also help us on our Patreon, link below, or you can become a member here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching.